between science and ignorance, there is filler.
And everyone, welcome back to Paranormal Filler. I'm your host, Wes Forsythe. This show is originally broadcast on July 10th, 2016. My guest tonight is psychic medium Brittany Fiero. She's from upstate New York. Psychic medium Britt. We had a little scheduling change. I had another guest scheduled tonight, and then Britt asked me if she had contacted me about a spot, and I offered it to her, and she took it, and I was totally unprepared for her to actually take the shot on the spot on such short notice that I did a really crappy job of promoting her appearance tonight, but I'm going to try to make it up to her, give her a really good show, and of course, nobody listens live anyway. This is the internet. We live in the internet age, and everybody can... So you'll be listening to this. It's not live, but it's live now. If you're listening at the exact moment here on July 10th, 2016. First hour, of course, I had Shenanigans with Chris Sutton. We always have a lot of fun talking, doing our little paranormal chit-chat. I think we stayed on topic better tonight, except for the tangent over into buzzards and other various pest birds. I think we did really good staying on paranormal topic tonight. Another quick reminder, deadline's coming up July 24th. I'll be at Bobby Mackey's Music World with Brian J. Cano. Of course, Brian's a headliner. I had planned, when he invited me, I had planned on sitting in the gift shop all night, but no, he wants me to actually get out and do some work. So I'll be interviewing people about their experiences that night, and maybe doing a little psychic protection with people, trying to spread the wealth, as they say. But if you've been looking for an opportunity to have a serious investigation of Bobby Mackey's Music World without doing the private investigation route, this is a great opportunity. Limited number of people going. Brian is using this as an education evening, so it will be a really good event. Go to neverstopsearching.com for more information about tickets. Okay, we're going to go ahead and dial Britt in now. And I've warned her that when she answers the phone, she will be live. So let's hope that everything goes well here. Because God love Chris's heart. Boy, we're having audio problems there.
Hello?
Hello, Britt. This is Wes with Paranormal Filler.
Hi.
Well, you are on the air. I want to welcome you to the show. Now,
hi, thanks.
Everybody, I want to. I do have to say one thing about Britt. She actually went back and found some of my old archives, and other people listened to last week's show too. She found a show. Apparently, was it on YouTube?
I found it on Twitter.
God, I don't even know how you ever found it, but anyway, she found this old show of mine apparently. But it might have been. It was one night somehow I was talking about my age. But anyway, having listened to the show, you've probably done more research on me than I've done on you. But so I hope you're still excited about doing tonight's show.
Yeah, I just was curious what it was all about and stuff. So I've been listening for the last couple hours about different stuff that you do, and I just heard the last guy talk for the last hour. That was pretty cool.
Well, everybody, we're talking to Brittany Fiero, and should I call you Britt?
Sure.
Okay, because that's her stage name, you might say, Psychic Medium Britt. It's at least her Twitter handle. So now, still a young lady, but Britt, you kind of fit into sort of a common story as far as your younger years about denying your gift. But then it seems that once you accepted your gift, you jumped in it with both feet. So let's go through that part of the story. How old were you when you had your first, we'll call it a psychic experience?
I was 9 years old, and I remember getting off the school bus with my cousin Brian. Now, my dad is a twin, so he has a son that is 3 weeks and 4 days younger than me. So we're pretty close till this day. I'm 27, and I'll be 28 in October. But I had gotten off the bus at 9 years old, and I was walking up the driveway, and all of a sudden I seen this, 1,800-old young boy who passed away, all in white, just staring at me. I tapped on my cousin. I was like, do you see this? Do you see this? He was like, see what? I was like, you don't see that? He was like, see what? And nobody could see what I could see, so I kind of ignored it. I went upstairs. I ran to the kitchen window, and I looked out the kitchen window, and it's like its head snapped and turned and looked at me as if it knew I had a gift. Why was I ignoring it? Why wasn't I paying attention to it? And I got so scared. So I ignored it all through my childhood. And then when I was 11 years old, I realized I had this psychic gift that I was like, oh, well, I must be psychic, because how can all these things be happening? So everything that I would predict, or everything that I would think, it was kind of like premonitions, would happen, but I didn't tell a single soul. I was too scared, and I wanted to live like a normal childhood. So I was like, just keep it to yourself, Brittany. I don't want people to laugh at me. All through high school, all through college, I did 4 years of college, everything, I still ignored it. And then I ended up working at Red Lobster here in Kingston, New York. I'm originally from Hudson, New York, but I've been living in Saugerties, New York for 2 years, but been known in the area for about 5 years. And how it happened was I worked at Red Lobster from 23 to 20, I want to say actually 22 to 20, because I came out when I was 25 and a half. So 24 and a half, about 25 actually. So 22 to 25, I worked at Red Lobster. And I met this guy named Steve, and I only knew him for a very, very, very short time. I met him March 2011, and I ended up just hanging out with him, went on a couple dates, and then I was like, we should maybe title this, We're Gonna Catch Feelings. And I had this gift. I wasn't trying to tune into nothing. It was crazy. So I just was like, do you want to title it? He was like, okay. So he came over to my dad's. We're having dinner, and all of a sudden I read in my head, I'm like, you're not making it past June of 2012. You're dying of a tumor in your kidney. And then all of a sudden I go, do you want to have a kid? Like that. And he was like, yes. And he was 21 years old. Now, what 21-year-old says yes to knowing a girl for maybe 10 weeks of his life and just say, yes, I'll have a kid with you? So we started trying, and I got pregnant in less than a month. We conceived May 24th of 2011. Chase was born February 17th, 2012, and Daddy shortly passed away June 19th of 2012. So he spent 4 months and 2 days with his son before he sickly had passed away. And I was able to read him, and I knew he wasn't coming home. I knew he was dying, and I just didn't want to believe it. I was having that little bit of hope that he was going to make it, and everything I visioned and all these premonitions, and it surely happened. I was like, Brittany, why would you do this to yourself? Why are you going to live this tragedy of not having your son's biological father for the rest of your life and ask him if he just wants a kid because you read his death? So when I read the autopsy said that patient died probably due to steroid given, and he did die because of a steroid given to him. And when I had and it said on his kidney. And he did die June 19th of 2012. So remember, I said he wasn't making it past June of 2012, which he didn't. So everything that I read was the truth. And I said, you know what? I think this should be my calling. I always dreamed of doing what I was doing. July 28th of 2016 ends my second year of being into the public. I've done 2,559 readings to all individual people from all around the area, upstate, downstate, everywhere. So when I knew I could communicate with my son's father for 2 years of grieving of his death, because back then I was, just 23 years old, and I lost such a tragedy. It had happened to me so quick, just in the same year of having my son, tragically turned my whole life around. It just messed with my head, everything. And like I said, his 4-year anniversary just passed. I've just gotten on my feet pretty good. My psychic medium career has grown dramatically. I do shows once a month, everything like that. So I just realized that, I should use this gift to help other people, and I turned it into a career, hoping that one day I would get on television, go to the radio, and continue on with building and building what I can do as a gift.
That noise, listeners, was one of the cats in the house apparently knocked a piano.
Oh, what happened?
I think they pushed a piano down a flight of stairs. I'm not sure.
Oh, no, I have 2 guinea pigs. I just recently got them. They're babies. They're 2 little sisters, and they have, this little hut that they hide in. So they must be playing on it and hearing me out on the laptop on the radio, so they might just be jumping around.
I guarantee you guinea pigs cannot make the noise that
no.
feral cat kittens can make. We've got some we're getting ready to home. Anyway, beyond that, now back to the interview. So until you met this man, you had not shared with anybody that you got this information from Spirit.
Never told a soul for 15 years. I never told my dad, my mom, my brother, nobody, until I was 25.
Now, just out of more curiosity than part of the interview, how did they react when you came out as a psychic medium?
Well, when I had came out, my father was kind of like, no way, this is impossible. Now, my dad used to kind of be into this stuff from past family history that I heard, but then kind of was like a skeptic, and then didn't believe in this kind of stuff. And then I kind of thought of it as myself as the outside world, like, as if you were my dad, and for 25 years, I'm around you, and I'm very close with my father. And I'm around you, and I never told you, hey, Dad, guess what? I can see spirit, I can talk to the dead, and you'll never believe the ability I have with my psychicness. I never thought to tell a single soul. I was way too scared, way too scared. So everyone gave me, I'll tell you, for a good year, negative comments that I was fake, I wasn't real, all this kind of stuff. And I thought to myself, why the heck would I promote something that isn't true? I would never do that to myself. I would never make myself look like a fool. Nothing like that. So I was like, this is crazy. What can I do to prove to the world that this is not true? So I worked really hard on my gift, and I ended up getting a lot of people to write, a lot of people wrote nice reviews about me after they saw me. They're all, unique, individual. I have one main page on Facebook, which is the Upstate New York Psychic Medium Brittany Fiero. I think it's at 1.7K followers right now. I use that page a lot for events and shows and everything like that. But, now that I'm going into my 3rd year, I have grown dramatically, started writing a book, how I got into it. I don't want to say my son's father made me say, okay, let me do this as a career at 25 years old. But I don't want to say, his death, the tragic is very tragic to me, but it pushed me kind of as if it was saying this is your calling, you have this strong gift, why don't you go help people, you can make an amazing career out of it, and I listened to my intuition, and 3 years later I have, like I said, grown dramatically, and I just keep on wanting to rise to the top. I love what I do. I wouldn't change it for the world.
Everybody, we're talking to Psychic Medium Britt. We'll be right back after this short commercial message.
Hello, friends. Are you exhausted with life? Resent your children? Maybe your husband is cheating on you. Get yourself a tarot reading with Ken Boggle. He can provide you with the clarity, guidance, and answers you need. That's tarotbyken.com. He makes things seem less shitty.
And welcome back to Paranormal Filler. We're talking to psychic medium Brittany Fiero. Okay, Britt. Now let's get into the mechanics of it. Now, of course, like I shouldn't say most, but like lots of psychic mediums. Now you do one-on-one readings and you do group readings, correct?
I do, like, actually a little bit of everything. So I do individual readings. I do private readings, the individual readings are the private readings. I do group readings. I do family readings. I do family functions. I do parties. I do graveyard visits. I do paranormal activity. I do recording. I do a whole bunch of things. I do, like, everything.
Okay. We may not get to everything this hour, but let's start with... so now you've kind of alluded to now you've encountered ghost, your earliest experience. Now, obviously, when you're giving somebody a reading, you're talking to their dead grandmother or whoever. So do you make that delineation? Is there a difference to you between the random ghost that has not crossed over versus a spirit that you call on for advice or input when you're giving someone a reading, or is it all the same to
like
you? Or is it all the same to you? Is spirit?
Well, like spirit to me, how it works is I used to go into my readings and I used to ask people, "Do you want a psychic reading?" And a lot of people used to not know the difference between psychic and medium, and I'm not surprised. But now in our decade, in 2016, I mean, a lot of people are more formal with it, more excited about it. It's more science. It's more exciting. It's more eventful. It's more different experiences, a whole bunch of stuff like that. So I used to be like, do you want a psychic or do you want me to, medium? So they'd be like, okay, so what's the difference? I'd be like, well, psychic is someone who can read your past, your present, your future. And I'm not talking something you find on Facebook. I'm talking something about, like, in your past life that nobody would know. Like, I can dig up anything in your life. Like, I would classify myself as a psychic energy. And then as a medium, I can talk to the dead. So in my readings, I now just go in and I'll sit down and I go, okay, guys, I'm really good with numerology. I'll give you 5 letters, 5 numbers, and they will connect into your life some way, somehow. And then we'll go about that way. Then I'll ask them what that letter will represent. And if spirit comes through, I do not, tell it to leave or anything. I'll ask the person, do you want to connect to this person? I'll describe them. I'll tell them who they are, how I feel them, how I see them, and then they'll say yes or I don't want to talk about it. I get some of that sometimes. I had a reading last night. It was fantastic, but I had a lot of spirit interrupt me during the psychic reading, so it was a lot of medium reading. So I don't just, say which one do you want. I just go about my business, and whatever happens and whatever energy they carry or whoever they may be carrying with them, I just tell them all about it. And I'll randomly just go up to somebody and do it. I'm so used to doing it now with all the readings that I do that I randomly will go in the grocery store and I'll just say, hey, I'm so sorry for the loss of your, we'll say, grandpa. And then they'll look at me and be like, and you are, and I'm just like, oh, I'm sorry. It's just I'm so used to doing it. I made it a career, and stuff like that. So I don't really, classify spirit. To me as spirit. I feel it. I sense it. I'll see a lot of people ask me what's the difference between a black shadow spirit, a white spirit, and a clear spirit. And they all are different forms of spirit. Black shadow people think are demons. That's not true. They can actually be an angel. They just are passing by in a different form. And then I'll hear things in my head and stuff like that. Like, I'll know if somebody's standing by me. Like, I have a very, very strong sixth sense and third eye.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so the question I was asking was on the medium side of it. We'll talk about the psychic side of it here in a moment. On the medium topic. What I was really asking was, let's say you walk in to a old house, okay?
Okay.
Now, do you believe? Okay, do spirits in your interpretation, in your psychic view, what happens to us normally when we die?
When we die, I believe that we automatically will just cross over. There, you see the white light. A lot of people, there will be some people. I'm sorry?
Okay, no, that's... Now, you actually, I think you were getting to the next part of the question. And then some people do some stick around and don't go through that light.
Some do because they're scared, they're confused. How I used to try to explain to people is that, like, it's like almost like not reincarnation, but like being like when you raise a baby and you have a baby, you got to teach it how to talk, breathe, walk, etc., learn in life, etc., grow, right? Well, when somebody dies, it's kind of like, say I passed out right now on the phone. You know, my fiance would look at me and go, "Oh, what just happened?" You know, something like that. I'd be standing there and looking at myself, kicking myself, being like, "Did I really just die?"
Gotcha.
You know, because your soul gets lifted.
Okay, yeah, okay, so we're on the same page. The now, what the question is, okay, is there a difference in the way you encounter, the way you sense, the way you see an uncrossed spirit versus one of the spirits that comes forward to help someone you're giving a reading for whatever reason?
No, I think that they're the same.
Okay, you don't encounter them differently, but okay, I got you. I'm with you. Now on the psychic side of it, now when you sit down to just give somebody a reading, you get information, as you alluded to, about their past, present, and future. Now, in your interpretation, where does that information come from?
Just knowledge of knowing. Like, I don't use any crystal balls. I don't use anything. Like, I scare myself sometimes. I wish I could tell you how I know what I know from you. Like, I don't know how I know. Like, I'll just sit in front of somebody when I go into the reading or when I walk in, say, like you said, like a house, and I'll sense something. I'll be like, oh, this person. These premonitions will pop into my head. How they passed, say they passed on the floor, you know, or they passed in the hospital. Like, it all will just fly into my head. I get so much information at once. So I'll sit down, and then I'll light like an incense or a candle, and I'll just say, let's just breathe for a second. I'm getting a lot of information all at once, and then I'll just start saying, now I'll talk about this. I feel like health. What happened in your stomach area, your gallbladder's missing, you know, something like that. And I'll go on and on and on, and I'll tell about their life. You know, I'll just go on and on and on until they say, like, wow, how did you know that? And then I'll come up with numbers, like, what will they represent? How would she know these numbers or letters, you know, anything like that?
Okay, that makes sense to me. I like getting into the nitty-gritty of how, because it seems, I talk to a lot of psychics, and it seems, you know, it works a little different for everybody, so that's one of the things I like to find out is...
Me too, it's unique.
How that experience comes to you. Now, when you do a party, now let's take it the other direction. Now, when you're doing one of these parties, I'm assuming there's 10 or 20 people, whatever it is, sitting around, and then do you just stand there and wait for spirits to walk up and start talking to you, and then you find the right person, or do you pick a person?
No,
and
what I'll do is, like, I'll, like, say someone wants to throw a party, and they'll be like, okay, 10, 20 people, say there's, like, 15. So I'll walk in, some people will have food and drinks, you know. I always say non-alcoholic. I never want to be responsible for anything like that, and I'll always deny a drink because I never want to go into a party to any kind of alcohol. I don't care if I'm 30 years old, you know. I just don't want, that's not how I want to be professional, you know.
No, I understand
so
that.
I'll go in. And then I'll start off as asking right away. I ask them, is this individual 101, 35 minutes, hour each, or am I doing this as like a family thing, a group thing? If it's a group thing, like I normally do, like I said with my shows, I'll start feeling energy off of somebody, and I'll start walking towards somebody, and then I'll stand in front of them, and I'll start asking them all these kind of questions. How did this happen? Why did this happen? You know, on. And then I'll go to the next person, and I'll go down the line. I'll jump around is what I'll do. I'll go whatever spirit directs me to go.
Okay, so basically the typical, I don't know if it's typical party, but when you're what you're describing, then you actually you go to where you're drawn, but then you do mostly the psychic part individually in a party setting. Okay. So I've seen, that's one of those things we've seen that done on TV, different ways, like some psychics will, so-and-so is, I'm getting, this man is coming to me, he's, died of whatever, that type of thing.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I'll get that to interrupt my psychic readings. So, like, if I'm talking about somebody's career, and all of a sudden I'll be like, okay, I see this father figure, white hair, skinny, tall guy, something with the chest, my chest is hurting, did their lungs fill up with something, cancer. I'll go on and on like that, and I'll describe it down to the bone of what the person is, and I will continue on with the medium and the spirit versus the psychic, because, I don't ever want to shut down spirit. Spirit to me is very important. If it's coming to me for a reason, then that person needs to hear from that person.
Gotcha. Okay, so in the party setting, it can just go any direction you want. Now now back to the medium part. When you're doing a one-on-one, a personal reading or something, we talked a lot about the psychic part. How does it usually happen for you? If somebody comes in, I want a mediumship reading. Do they tell you that they want to talk to their dead grandmother, or do they just say it?
Sometimes I'll get that. Sometimes they'll be like, I just want to see what happens. And that's why I ended up asking, do you want psychic or do you want medium? I just go with the flow. Like, I went to this one family. This is a good question, because I went to this one family and they wanted mediumship. This son had passed away due to drugs and some kind of mixture of medication. And, he just passed out. He went to sleep and he didn't wake up. And his alarm, all that, it went off, and she ended up finding him on the couch. Very tragic it was. And I connected each one of these ladies for 4 hours, or I was there, from like 10 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock at night, 5 different people, all for an hour. About an hour each, and connected with whoever I could connect with for them. They wanted psychic and medium, so I was drained because it was, the parent's son, and then the wife, and then the sister. Mm-hmm. So it was all a big family thing, and it drained me completely because he nonstop came through, and he had a different message for each person. So I was drained.
But you do have pretty good luck when somebody has a specific request like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If someone has a specific request, I usually can get them to come through.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know I've talked to some mediums who said that they just had to stop doing that because, for whatever reason, somebody from the family would come through, but it was so often it was not who the people wanted, But
sometimes I get that. Yep. Sometimes that was yesterday's reading. I had 3 women come through. One of them, the lady wanted. The other 2, she was hoping for somebody else. Sometimes it happens like that. Yep.
Okay. I understand fully. Everybody, we're going to take another commercial break, and we'll be right back with more Psychic Medium Brit.
Learn the method at Bobby Mackey's with Brian J. Cano. Sunday, July 24th. Learn investigating techniques, participate in experiments, and come experience Bobby Mackey's firsthand. Join Brian as he explores the infamous Bobby Mackey's music world for the first time. His method tour focuses on the process, philosophy, and execution of paranormal investigating and is suitable for novices and veterans alike. Brian's goal is to take each attendee and alter their perspectives with critical thinking, basic techniques, and logic. Event highlights will be broadcast live by me, Wes Forsyth of Paranormal Filler. Be interviewed about your experiences as they happen. For more information, go to neverstopsearching.com. That's The Method with Brian J. Cano, Sunday, July 24th.
And welcome back to Paranormal Filler. I'm talking to Psychic Medium Britt from upstate New York. Okay, now Britt, The gosh, I had this all thought out while I was on commercial break, and I sit down.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's a hazard to my job. No, the
It happens, right?
Yep, I was I was going to ask you more about the readings. Now, do you now let's go back to the personal readings.
Okay.
Do you are you more gifted when it's somebody sitting in the room with you, or do you have any luck doing remote readings by a phone or Skype or whatever? Have you ever tried that?
I've done Skype. I had once I had somebody rip me off, so I had to change my rules about Skype.
Mm-hmm.
But I used to be very lenient, and so now I ask for a money order to my address. Once I receive the money order, I snap it a pic between you and I send it to you, and I just let you know that I received it and that I'm ready for you when you're ready for me, and we'll book a date right then and there, like that hour, say a couple hours, whatever. I get people that ask about phone messages, but again, it's very skeptic, and it's very hard nowadays to trust people with the social media using over the phone. So I always try to recommend in person. I've done so many in person. I'm so used to doing it in person.
Mm-hmm.
So I always tell people I recommend doing it in person because the energy is a lot stronger. I pick up on a lot more. Not that I can't pick it up through the phone, but I always just say, in person's a lot better.
Okay.
I just think person to me is better. I don't know versus the phone or whatever.
Some of my closest psychic advisors, are just, perfectly happy, just to do it over Skype or phone. But my own, of course, very, very limited gifts, I cannot imagine doing any of them remotely. I like being there. I like touching things. I like seeing things. I like seeing people.
Yeah.
And so
I'm different. I like to just, I'll just creep people out. It's random. I don't mean to do it. It's just, my power's so strong. I was just at Rhode Island. This Wednesday will be 2 weeks ago that I was there. I got, severely burnt. But me and my fiance went with another couple and my kid, who's 4.5 now. And they were watching Chase. They were playing in sand. And me and my fiance were just walking down, and I said to him, this lady, I said, he's so used to what I do by now. This actually on the 15th, the next couple of days is our 1-year anniversary. So he's so used to what I do by now, it doesn't even faze him. So we're walking, and I'm like, this lady, her husband passed, how sad. He's like, you're not going to go up to her, are you? And I was like, I can't help it. Yeah, I'm going up to her. So we ended up turning around. I went to her. I said, Miss, I'm so sorry for the loss of your husband. That must have been so hard with the cancer. She looked at me. Her mouth dropped. She told me she was 80 years old. And she goes, man, how would you know that? Are you even from here? And I was down at Long Island, Jones Beach. And I said, no, I'm upstate New York, down in the Saugerties area right now. I said, I just have this gift. I'm a psychic and I'm a medium. And when spirit comes to me and when I pass by somebody, if someone's clinging to them, I will pick it up really quick and I'll know exactly what's going on. So she ended up kind of being scared, and then she was, really into it. And my fiance just, walked away and ended up playing with my son, and he's like, I knew she was going to do this. Can't take her anywhere without her going up and reading somebody. That's why I hate going out to dinner or anything like that, because my mind just doesn't shut down. So I always tell people I live a double life. I live this paranormal life, this psychic life, but then I could be a typical normal person who doesn't even act like I have anything. So she ended up running back to me for more information. And I ended up, talking to her son and the kids ended up playing with Chase. And she was just so ecstatic that I just randomly went up to her and was like, I'm so sorry that this happened to your husband, etc. So I can't help it. I just will randomly go up to somebody and it will just play in my mind before I say it. I'll know exactly what I'm saying, and then I'm like, Brittany, shut your mouth. And then all of a sudden I'll just say something and someone will look at me like, how the heck would you know this? And I'm like, I wish I could tell you, but I don't know how I know. And I don't have an answer. I don't know how I know.
But now the other side of that coin is, have you ever done that and had somebody treat you like it was an invasion of their privacy?
No, I'm telling you, out of all the readings I've done, I've only had maybe, I'm being serious, 20 people say this is like being skeptic, like I'm not sure if I like this, like that kind of deal. But I've never had any complaints. I've always had happy people, like ecstatic with what I could do. Like I never had anybody say like this is different, you know, because like you said, all psychics, mediums read differently, and a lot of people are amazed that I don't use no crystal ball, no diamonds, nothing. I just knowledge of knowing. It's like I can just see right through a person. I don't know you. I can just walk up to you and just look into your life. Like I don't know how I know. I just like, and the longer I've been practicing, I'm stronger and stronger and stronger. So that's why I'm trying to promote and be like, okay, I'm totally up there. Let's get on the radio. I'm so strong with what I do. A lot of people promote me and are like, this girl's crazy. Like, I cannot believe she can do this. You know, I've had a lot of positive feedback. I haven't had too much negative to reflect on about negativity, really.
Well, see, I support you when you're doing, you know, the readings, when you're doing the parties, when, you know, you're doing the personal readings. But I know personally, even here I'm in the paranormal field, now of course, I pretty well close myself off. I've had psychics try to read me and say, you know, no, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But so in other words, I can see somebody, you know, not in the paranormal field, but that was like me, that keeps all that to theirself. And I was just wondering, you know, I don't know that I would like somebody walking up to me in Red Lobster, you know, and telling me, you know, about...
And randomly just saying that, yeah, I could totally understand. I just don't know why I do it sometimes. I don't know, like, I'm just so... I try to ignore it, and sometimes I feel like these people need me. Like, I really can't say I've had a lot of negativity. You know, I had so many people just be ecstatic, like, wow, that's amazing that you can just know that without knowing anything about me. But I could understand your point, like, okay, that's kind of weird that,
no, it's not
you know,
weird. I don't
life.
look at it as weird. No, don't get me wrong. I don't look at it as weird. I'm in this way too deep to be worrying about what's weird. I mean, weird is a judgment call that somebody else will have to make.
Yeah.
I was just saying that there are some private people that I don't care which one of my dead relatives wants to come through. I mean, that's, you know, don't bother me at dinner is all I'm saying. So
yeah,
just,
completely.
You know,
I understand what you mean.
So let's take one last commercial break, and then we'll do the final segment. Everybody, you're listening to Paranormal Filler.
Every Friday night, Scarefest Radio.
Dude, run!
Join us every week as your hosts go behind the scenes of America's premier horror and paranormal convention, the Scarefest.
Here's Johnny.
You will be hearing from celebrities, speakers, artists, entertainers, and some of the most unique vendors anywhere.
I am your father.
Every week we will be giving away a 3-day pass to a lucky listener.
I'm afraid.
That's the Scarefest Radio. Friday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern on ScarefestRadio.com.
And welcome back to the final segment of Paranormal Filler for tonight. Now, as far as your gifts, do they also manifest for things in your own life? Meaning, can you read yourself, is I guess the layman's way of putting it.
Yes. I can read myself, and
Okay,
it gets scary.
So you can see your
Huh?
own future and talk to your own dead relatives.
Yeah, it's crazy. I really can.
Well, no, I'm not. I know I've talked to psychics that can to one degree or another, and I've talked to psychics that absolutely, when it comes to their own life, it's almost like it's shielded off for them.
Yeah, a lot of psychics are. I wish mine was sometimes. I've talked to other psychics myself, And they were like, yeah, I can't read myself. How can you do it? And, like, before I had my son, I'm like, I know he's going to look like his father. His eyes are going to be his father's eyes. He's going to have red hair. His lips are going to be mine. His feet are going to be mine. His skin's going to be mine. Everything I said before the baby was born, this baby is now has mine. It's crazy.
See, now I would argue that. See, I would argue though that's a premonition of him.
How did I what?
I would make the argument that at that point you were still reading him though. You were getting a premonition of the baby. In other words,
yeah,
you know,
like I knew.
While I
I
agree, it's part of your
son.
life. You know, while I agree, it's part of your life. It's not the same as saying, "I'd better not go to the mall Tuesday because I'll have a car wreck."
Yeah.
So I mean, do anything? Have
I
you
know
gotten
exactly.
anything
Here's
for
a good
yourself
example
that's
of
been?
what you're saying about that. I have experienced like a car wreck, like a premonition where I'm like, I shouldn't get in the car. I know I'm going to get in an accident today. And this goes back to 2001, I believe. I had my license in my hand. It was right after New Year's. And I looked at my license and I said, don't get into the car. You're going to have an accident today. It's going to be a bad storm. Don't do it. You're going to risk your life. I ignored my intuition. I went to work. I used to work at Catamount. And I left Catamount early. They let me go early because I lived 40 minutes away. So I was the furthest away, and I knew this bad storm was coming. So I was going down Howellville Road, no more than less than 30 miles per hour, and this big plow truck pushed me off the side of the road. And if I wasn't 113 pounds back then, I'd be dead. Like, I picked up my leg, and I was the only one in the car. I slammed on my brakes. I immediately got out of the passenger, all shooken up. They wanted to call the ambulance, everything. So I visioned and had the premonition not to go to work, and I ignored my whole intuition, and everything I visioned happened. Same thing with my son's father's death, and then I all of a sudden said, do you want to have a kid? And if I didn't say that, they wouldn't have a grandkid. That was the only son they had. It was all because of my intuition that made it that they had this, grandson. It was crazy how I can read myself.
Now, have you ever sat down with somebody, or I guess it could also happen at a party, but have you ever tried to give somebody a reading and you just did not get any information or at least anything useful?
Yeah, that would be skeptics. Yeah, like I'll sense a skeptic, and what they do is they put a guard up and they'll block you. They'll automatically block you. They'll give you this look like they're not into it, and you can try and try and try, and it's just like, nope, it's not happening. I've had that happen before to me.
Well, I mean,
or I couldn't try to read somebody.
Now I understand people doing that because like I said, I believe that's why a lot of the, as you refer to them, skeptics never have a haunted experience. I think it's because they're closed off to it. They're not mentally open to it. So I definitely agree with that. But I was just wondering, even somebody that that genuinely wanted the experience. But you're saying if they're open to the experience, that spirit does always comes to you and gives you the information that they want and or need.
Yeah.
Okay. That's one of the things I always worried about psychics, and I'm not accusing anybody of this, but when you one of the ways I judge how good a psychic is when they sit down, and if I see them refuse the money, you might say. In other words, say not getting the information that the person wants, getting information.
You mean like, do I charge people if they don't want, if I read them the wrong way?
No, nothing like that. No, anybody can be wrong. No, don't get me. I'm talking about if somebody was to sit down, but you're saying it doesn't happen, but I'm saying most psychics will say occasionally somebody will sit down with them, and like, for example, they want to talk to their dead granny, and granny just will not show up. You might get Uncle Bob, you might get whatever, but the person that they wanted to talk to. And I was just wondering if how often or if that happens to you, where you just cannot get that connection to where they wanted it to go, whether or not, that's where it should
It depends. It's like a 50-50. It all depends if I have the client early in the morning. If I have 3, like I try to max them out, no more than 5 clients a day. If I do more than that a day, it can make me, drain me out tired if it's not a party, of course, or anything like that. But all individual regions always tend to go over than what they want. So, it can drain me is what it does. It makes me tired.
Well, we're pretty much at the end of the segment. Is there? Let's get everybody the information on how to find you, how to look you up, and now these parties. I know you do. I started to say private parties. That'll just confuse people. But you said something about you do a regular party. Let's start with that. Is this something that you?
Yep. So once a month. So we'll start there. Once a month, I have shows. I'll pick a day out of the month that is either, I've been doing it every Saturday, say. Just Saturdays I've been doing it. So I started since March. So I had a show March, April, May, June. I just had a show July, and now in August. I haven't picked my date yet, but it's going to be a Saturday in August. And I'll have a show. It's $25 per person, and they all get, it's from 12 to 4, group reading, anywhere between 20 and 30 people I usually get. They'll all get a little sample of food or whatever, have water or soda, and then I'll read for 4 hours, and there will be a break in between. So from like 12 to 2, I'll read, break for 10, 15 minutes, and then from 2 to 4, I'll continue. Say I do not get you in the group, I will not forget you. I will make sure at the end I get at least 5, 10, 15 minutes with you because you did pay to come to see me, so therefore I'll make sure you get your money. So that's what I've been doing now to help the people who can't afford me individually. So those are the first things that I do every month is have like a bargain deal show for people who just want to test me out, see how I am, and then go up from there if they want individual or anything like that.
I understand. So the best way to get in touch with you is via Facebook?
Yeah, it's by Facebook. So I go by Upstate New York, so just Upstate, and then it would be capital NY, and then Psychic / Medium, and then Brittany, and then Fiero. So it would be BRITTANY, F as in Frank, IERO, and then I will pop right up on Facebook. And you'll see me, you can message me, and then my individual prices, 35 minutes, I'm $65, 1 hour, I'm $100, and an hour and a half, I'm $125. And then I bargain for any parties or anything like that. And then I give my telephone number, which is 518-821-5943. And those are the best way to contact me. I do use Twitter. I just started using it probably prior to a month ago. And that's about it. So Facebook, I would say, or my, personally calling me is the best way to get a hold of me. And I do travel. So.
Okay, Brittany. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show, and hope that we gave everybody a good overview of your talents and gifts.
Yes, thank you for having me.
And good luck with your business endeavor.
Well, thank you very much.
And everybody, this has been Paranormal Philip. Thanks so much